So, hello students, this one is the module third, that is introduction to solids. And in this module, we will discuss today about the important topic, that is energy bands in semiconductors. Here, we will also define semiconductor and insulator categories in a particular material, like as semiconducting material, insulating material, and conducting material. So the outline of this particular session here, we will first give the introduction about these materials and find out the energy band and classification of materials, direct and indirect band gap in semiconductor or materials, that's showing direct and indirect band gap, and classification of semiconductor. So as we know that silicon and germanium are the best semiconductor, and the silicon uh, has 14 electrons in its has 14 atomic number, and if we go for electronic distribution, then its electronic distribution is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, and 3p2. So here there are 4 valence electrons in outer orbit. So electrons present in the outermost orbit are called valence electron, and their behavior decide electrical characteristics of a material. So basically, we know that in the solids, the closely packed atoms make the intermixing of valence electron possible, and this intermixing increase the number of permissible energy levels. So thus in solid, instead of single energy levels associated with single atom, a set of closely packed energy levels exists. So this is called energy bands. So for silicon, 2 electrons are present in 3s orbit, and 2 electrons are in 3p orbitals. So consider n silicon system which are so far from each other, and so the interaction between them is negligible. In this particular condition, 2n electrons occupy the 3s level and 2n electrons in 3p level. So when the atoms are brought to closer, the interaction between them increases, and they now form a electronic system. So uh, this one is the energy levels, formation of energy level diagram, and this particular diagram can be calculated whenever there is a uh, interaction of atoms. Then the energy bands or discrete energy levels are formed, and these discrete energy levels make band structure, and these are known as energy band diagrams also. So in this particular system, the electronic system should obey Pauli's exclusion principle. So which state that no number of 2 electrons are in the system can have same amount of energy. So in order to obey this 3s and 3p level spreads into multiple levels, so that each electron can occupy a distinct energy level. So when interatomic distance is further reduced, the 2n S level and 6n P levels combined into a single band. So at latest spacing, single band is split into 2 bands, with upper band containing 4 electrons and lower band containing 4 number of levels. So at 0 Kelvin temperature, electron possesses lowest energy. They fill up valence electron and conduction band remaining empty. So in energy band theory, that is in that performs in solids, so the interaction result in transforming of single isolated energy level into a number of levels. So this set of discrete energy levels grouped together form the separate bands of energy, and it can be assumed that an interacting atoms can cause energy level so spread into n different levels. A free electron in the metal, therefore, can occupy only those energy which lie in one of allowed energy bands. So the formation of bands in the crystal can also be understood using Bragg's diffraction equation, because in lattice spacing, the electron behave more like wave than a particle. So on the basis of energy band theory, there are some important energy bands, and these are conduction band, valence band, and forbidden bands. So as we know that the valence band is filled by the electrons, and conduction band is partially filled or completely empty by the electrons. So what is valence band? So the band of energy level which are closer to nucleus, and an electron in valence band expansive strong force of attraction from nucleus. So, and it cannot move freely when external electric field is applied. It is called bounded electron. And in conduction band, the band of energy levels which are far away from the nucleus, and the conduction band is the band of orbitals that are high in energy and are generally empty. So an electron in conduction band has peak influence of nucleus, and hence it can move free under the effect of applied electric field, and thus it produces current. It is called free electrons. So and what is forbidden band or energy band gap? The gap between conduction and valence band is known as band gap. In solid state physics, an energy band gap or band gap is an energy range in a solid where no electrons states can exit. So it generally refers to energy difference in electron volt. It is measured in electron volts, or we can say that it unit is electron volt between the top of valence band and bottom of conduction band in insulator and semiconductors. So if we classify the material or according to classification of solid materials or materials, so materials can be divided into three types based upon the values of energy gaps. Because according to band theory of solids, the conduction in solids can take place only if the vacant energy levels are available immediately above the occupied energy levels, and sufficient number of free electrons are present. So thus, the conductivity in solid is determined by the number of occupied levels, free electrons in valence band, and number of empty levels in conduction band, and the band gap or energy gap. So in first category, there is an the first category is insulator, and second one is conductor, and third one is semiconducting material. So this one is the energy band gap diagram of these three materials, different types of material. So it is clear from the diagram. The insulator, basically insulator has wide energy band gap between conduction and valence band. So basically, due to large band gaps, these are known as insulator, and in most of insulators, the valence electrons don't make the transition to conduction band, even in the presence of high field and high temperature. So enables some electrons to go to conduction band. So in this particular arrangement, in this particular material, the conductivity of insulator is the order of 10 to the power minus 7 mho per meter. So these material have very high resistivity, that is low conductivity, very low conductivity. And the glass and wood and other plastic materials are the examples of an insulator in which the valence band is completely filled at 0 Kelvin temperature and forbidden band gap is about 10 electron volt. Similarly, the diamond has a large band gap that is 5.47 electron volt. Thus, it is very difficult to flow electrons to absorb, and it is very difficult for electrons to absorb such large energy and to jump to conduction band. So insulators, when used for charge storage purpose, are called dielectric materials. If we discuss about the conductor, so conductors are the solid materials have high electric conductivity. In conductors, there is not uh, any forbidden energy band gap. The conduction band and valence bands are overlapped to each other. The valence band and conduction band, you can see in the figure that these are overlapped to each other. So some solids may have the half-filled electrons, and in both the cases, even a small external field or temperature is given, then it is sufficient to jump the electron from higher backend energy levels to conduction band. So due to the absence of forbidden bands in conductors, the holes don't exist, and the entire current is due to plenty free electrons available in conduction band. So if we discuss here, the example is metal body, iron body, human body also. And in case of semiconducting material, so these are the material having a small band gap for forbidden band gap, which is usually less than 2 electron volt. So here the band gap is in range of conduction to insulator. Clear? It means the band gap is lie between conductor and insulator. So at absolute actually in semiconductor at 0 absolute temperature, the valence band is completely filled and thus behave like as insulator. So silicon and germanium are the best two semiconducting material, having band gap 0.7 electron volt and 1.1 electron volt respectively. The electrical properties like conductivity of a semiconductor lies in between an insulator and conductor also. Due to a small forbidden band, only a small amount of energy is capable of transferring valence electrons to conduction band, and thus the conduction in semiconductor takes place. So the conductivity of semiconductors is of the order of 10 to the power 2 mho per meter. So they have uh, their conductivity or resistivity vary between conductor and insulator. So due to unavailability of empty energy levels in the valence band at absolute zero, the electron can't move within the band. So basically, at this temperature, the electrons don't have sufficient energy to jump from this band to this band uh, and cross to this particular energy band gap, which makes the conduction zero. So at normal temperature, or when temperature is given, so some of the valence electrons may gain sufficient energy uh, to cross over the band gap, and these electrons in conduction band can conduct electricity on the application of even a small field of temperature or voltage. Since the number of electrons making transition to conduction band is small, so only a little current flows in the solids. Sorry. Another interesting characteristics of semiconductor is the existence of hole in the valence band. So holes are actually the empty state left by electrons making transition to conduction band. So these vacant seats, vacant state, serve as the positive particles have equal charge as that of electron. So the flow of electron in the valence band is considered due to the movement of hole. So a hole created due to jump of electron from valence band to conduction band. So the nearby electron find this hole as the center of a strong attraction. Thus, it occupies this vacant state, that is hole. So in this process, the electrons shift towards right while the hole shift towards left. So the further movement of hole and electrons are according to the shifting. So we have already discussed differentiate between insulator, conductor, and semiconductor. So in listed properties, we have in insulator, it is a material with large energy band gap, that is in 10 electron volt. We know that 1 electron volt is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule. So due to large energy band gap, an electron from valence band can't move into conduction band, remains completely filled. So conduction band completely empty. For example, glass, diamond. Diamond also have band gap 5.47 electron volt also, and silicon dioxide. So here we have already mentioned that the band gap of diamond is near equal to 6 electron. So in conductors, it is a material having zero energy gap. That is, there is overlapping between conduction and valence band, and the materials in which conduction and valence bands. So valence electrons can move valence to conduction band without requiring any temperature or electric field. So the overlapping indicates a large number of electrons available for conduction. So hence the application of a small amount of voltage or field is sufficient to produce a large amount of current. For example, all metals and conducting materials are silver is best, copper is second by best. So in semiconductors, the material in which the conduction and valence bands are separated by a small energy band gap, that is 1 to 2 electron volt, are called semiconductors. And silicon and germanium are the commonly used semiconductors. So a small energy band gap means that a small amount of energy is required to free the electrons from moving valence band to conduction band. So semiconductors behave like an insulator at 0 Kelvin temperature, but because there is no electrons are available in conduction band. So if the temperature is further increased, so more valence electrons will acquire energy to jump into the conduction band. So if a valence receives sufficient thermal energy, it can move into conduction band, leaving a vacancy in valence band. So this vacancy is known as hole, and therefore, if one electron is sufficiently thermally energized, it creates a pair of free electrons and hole. So this process is called carrier generation. So carrier generation can happen due to thermal excitation, photo excitation, electric excitation, and impact ionization also. So in case of silicon and germanium, the energy band gap is 1.21 to 10 to the power minus 4, and for germanium it is 0.7. So when external electric field is applied, free electrons travel with in conduction band producing electron current. So where as hole travels in valence producing hole current. So the total current will be the sum of free and hole current. So the total current is the sum of free electron current and hole current. So as temperature increases, free electrons and holes will also increase, and conductivity will also increase. So if we discuss about the direct and direct and indirect band gap of semiconducting material, so the process of free electron returning from conduction band to valence band, which causes disappearance of a free electron, so whole pair is called charge carrier recombination. So semiconductors are divided into two types based upon the method of recombination. So the method of recombination means the process of free electron returning from valence to conduction band and causes disappearance of this particular free electrons. So one is direct band gap semiconductor and second one is indirect band gap semiconductor. So in direct band gap semiconductor, the conduction band minima. So this one is conduction band and this one is valence band. So the minima of conduction band and maxima of valence band occurs at same value of momentum. So there is a they both are in k, like as in k. There is no shifting between conduction and valence band. So an electron from conduction band directly return to valence band without changing its momentum. So and release energy in form of light, that is photon. So when it return back to this particular state, so it emit their light energy or release their photon energy, and there is no shifting from this particular momentum. So for example, gallium arsenide, gallium P and gallium arsenic phosphorus are the some example of this particular potassium are the example of this particular direct band gap semiconductor. Silicon is also an example of it is an example of indirect band gap semiconductor. So in indirect band gap semiconductor, the conduction band minima and valence band maxima occurs at a different value of momentum. So we can say that there is shifting. These are not in K-safe. There is shifting between conduction and valence band. So due to the shifting, when electron return back to the valence electron and so there is shifting in the momentum of this particular photon. So when electron from conduction band returns, so this one is the example of silicon and germanium are the example of indirect band gaps material. So in intrinsic semiconductor, so fourth group is carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, and lead, and in this semiconductor crystal, each atom forms four covalent bonds to become stable. So at 0 degrees centigrade temperature, at all balanced electron participate in covalent bond formation. Conduction are not possible. So if temperature is increased, greater number of free electron hole pairs will be created and causes conduction. So here the J, the charge carrier density, is the sum of molality of electron and molality of holes also. So in n-type semiconductor, we will discuss in our different session also in detail. So here the fourth group, phosphorus, arsenic, and antimony, and these forms n-type semiconductor. Here the majority is electron and minority is holes. And in p-type semiconductor, third group of like as boron, aluminum, and gallium is added to the pure semiconductor and to forms covalent bond. And when these are free, then holes are free and it consists positive charge. So majority is holes and minority is electrons. So basically, so in this session we will discuss about the different type of material properties and bands also. So in later slide, in another session, we will discuss about the detail the p-type and n-type materials, p-n junction, and all other parts. So these are the references. So thanks for watching this video particularly. Thank you.